Hi, this is Richard here. So this is episode 2, Fishing for Pike. So in the last episode, which was a couple of days ago, the difference between then and today is the weather. So as you can probably see in the camera, it's just slightly starting to rain. It's duller, it's colder. So to be honest, they tend to be better weather conditions for the pike, especially on the lures. Now we're into September. When I'm filming this is the 14th of September, so we're roughly in the middle of September. September really tends to be the last month that you really catch pike on lures. After that, the weather starts getting colder and the pike just don't chase the lures as much. So that's why next month I'll be going on to the deadbaits. But anyway, that's next month. This video is about me continuing using the lures. So today I finished work, picked the Aldo up, we've come up here to start fishing. Well, luckily, if you're going to have 3-4 hours of fishing, didn't finish work, didn't pick Aldo up, didn't get here till like 5 o'clock, so it's starting to get dark around about 8-9 o'clock, so we've got about 3-4 hours of fishing. Like I say, the weather's alright for the lures at the moment, but I just need to keep on trying. The difference between last week's episode and this week's episode, I'm going to be using a couple of lures. So the other day I was using my homemade jig fly in a red and silver pattern, and that was doing the job. Today I'm going to use the blue one, the blue and the silver. It's a heavier jig head, it's a 10-gram jig head, slightly longer, different colour. The only difference between this one and the red one is it's this all-in-one. As I tried to explain in last week's video, this one's actually in 3 parts. So you've got the main body part, as you can see here, and then you've actually, because it's wet water, you've actually got another 2, one here, one in the middle, and then the main part. So it's actually in 3 parts, this jig fly. And the reason it's in 3 parts is so it's got a wave as it goes through the water. So I'm going to be using the 2 jig flies, but I want to maximise my chances of catching today. So what I'm done is I'm brought a couple of lures with me as well, because I don't want to just rely on my jig flies. Today I want to try and catch. So I've brought this wee crayfish soft lure. It's actually made by Savage Gear. I'm going to use this. I'll explain more in the video what I'm planning on doing with this later on. Now, as a couple of days ago I was seeing roach and perch, so because I've seen roach and perch, I've got this Western roach soft plastic, so I'm going to be using this one as well. And then I'm going to be using this hard lure. It's got a built-in rattle in it, and the reason I'm going to be using that is because it's got a bit on it at the front so it can dive down into that deeper water. That means I can control how much I get it to go down in the water by how fast I retrieve it. So as you've seen with the lures and the jig flies, I've got a mixture of everything. What I'm going to do is go to each spot I'm planning on fishing, do 6 casts with each lure / jig fly, and then move on to the next spot. Now the reason for that is I want to try and maximise the variety of different lures that I'm using. That's point 1. Point 2, the reason I'm only doing 6 casts with each one is if a pike's there and it sees any of the lures, if it's hungry it should go for it. But even if it's being territorial, it should still go for it. So the way I'm looking at it is if I do 6 casts with each of the lures and I don't get any reaction whatsoever, then it's making me think one or 2 things. Either the pike's just eating and it's not hungry, or the pike aren't there. So that's why I'm only going to do 6 casts with each lure and then move on to a different spot. In the last video, what I tried to do was explain some of the reasons or features that I aim for. So I hope that video helped. Today I'm going to try and talk more about the different casts that I do, and also talk about different features as well, what to look out for. Now, like I say, the same as in the last video, I'm no expert, don't claim to be, I just love the hobby, I love fishing, and I'm going to try and explain and demonstrate my personal preference on how I fish, and talk you through it how I do it. Hopefully that helps at least one person, and if it does, then it's been a huge success. But today we've got a few things against us. One, the weather's a wee bit worse than it was the other day, but saying that, sometimes that can be a blessing in disguise. I've actually got quite a few good pike in bad weather, so it just really depends your luck on the day. So it's more to do with how dark it's going to get. That's what's against us, especially with using the lures. It's different if you're using bait and you've got a scent there to draw the fish in. Lures, you've not got any scent, so it's all down to sound and actual visualisation for the pike to actually see it. So the light's going to play a big part in how quickly we catch. I hope you still enjoy this video. I'm planning and showing you a clip from one of my previous videos to demonstrate me catching on that wee crayfish lure, which I'll show you later on in the video. At the moment I just want to try and see how well we do for the pike, and hopefully we start catching. Pike is a ambushing predator fish, so they're always going to be near cover, whether that be like your lily pads you can see around here, tall grass, weeds, like I don't know if you can see in the camera, but it's like a weed bed here. They'll hide and stuff like that and just ambush the bait fish, like your roach, your perch, bream, stuff like that. So this lure here, this is a lure that I tend to use when I'm fishing for perch. It's a wee crayfish. It's made by Savage Gear. Now the last time I used this was on a kayak, I believe 2 years ago, because it wasn't last year, I don't think. I could be wrong, I'll need to double check. But this was the crayfish that I caught a pike on a kayak. I was using my light rod, light setup, and I was aiming for perch, and I ended up catching a pike on it. So I'll show you that clip now. We done that. Oh, it's a good pike. Might need you to disable the kayak a wee bit, because this is this light gear. He's went right through the bead. That's a good fish, by the way. Don't want it, because it's like gear, I don't let it run, let it try to sell it. Let it try to sell it. Feels decent anyway. Alright, take that down a wee bit. Decent. It's definitely not, it's got weed on it, so it's making it feel. If I get a chance to grab it, I said I'll just chin it. First pike on a kayak. On light gear too makes it even feel like, makes a £5 feel like a £20. It's £4 line, so it shouldn't snap it. Aye. soon as it sees that net, it's going to go again. Here it comes. Oh, so decent. Decent size there. Oh, it's right in the corner, Smith. Oh. Cracking pike. Cracking pike. That's actually quite heavy. Right here. Oops, there it goes. But as for this crayfish, all you do is you cast it out, and then as you bring it in, this bobs back like this. So last time I was up here, I spooked a wee pike just there, so I'm going to wet the jig fly at this side, and then I'm going to try and cast over the spot that I spooked that pike the last time, and then walk towards it. Using the blue one, get a bit more further distance with that one, so that's because it's a heavier jig. Bigger jig fly as well, so I've cast the blue jig fly out. You can see the ripple in the water where it's landed roughly, but just past that I've seen up at the surface a bunch of bait fish just all scattered at the surface, so to me it looks like they've been spooked by probably a pike. So I'm letting this sink to the bottom, and then I'm going to try and do a slow retrieve back in. Hopefully I don't snag, and hopefully there's a pike nearby, it sees the jig fly and goes for it instead of the bait fish. I'm going to try the lures now. Like I say, each spot I'm fishing, I'm going to do 6 casts with each one. If I don't catch, then I'll switch to the next lure that I've got with me. Keep hitting the spot with all the lures and the jig flies, and hopefully start catching. But that's what they call trial and error, you know what I mean? You've just got to try. There's not much more you can do. I'm going to try something I've not done in probably a good few years, and that's just jig it off the bottom. So as you can see, the lines went slack because it's landed on the bottom, so just bring in a wee bit of that slack line, use your rod tip, bounce up 3 times, reel into the slack, up 3 times, reel into the slack, up 3 times, reel into the slack. What this is actually doing, obviously you can't see it in the water, but it's jigging it off the bottom, bouncing up and down the water column. It'll look like an injured fish. I've had pike in the past do this, go for it. Does work. Oops, just seen the bait fish scarting again. So I'm going to try and cast 2 where that bait fish just scarred. Getting close enough. Gonna let it sink. I'm just going to do a slow steady retrieve. So you seen that I jigged it up and down the water column this way. I done a steady retrieve coming in this way. What I'm going to do this time is adjust the speed of the retrieve. So what I mean by that is, one thing that makes pike go for the lures is if you bring it in at a steady speed and then you speed up a bit. That sudden speeding up a bit makes it look more natural, because to the pike it looks like the fish is getting spooked because it can see it, and it can actually promote the pike to actually strike, get the lure. So what I do is let it sink to the bottom, do a slow steady retrieve, count for 3 seconds, speed up a wee bit, slow back down for 3 seconds, speed up a wee bit, slow down a wee bit, speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down. These are all different methods that you can use to actually catch pike, and each of the methods I just spoke about, I've caught pike numerous times over the years doing all the methods, so they do work. It's just your luck on the day. This time I'm trying to pulse it, so what I'm doing is, as you can see the action I'm doing with the reel, it's fast down, slow up, fast down, slow up. Kind of the same way that I would jig the jig fly. And it's not going to work if I've got a bit of weed stuck to it. Come on, make a cast. Let's try to do it with this tree behind me. It's a shite cast. Got a distance, but shite cast to be a lot of it. So this lure's a slow sinking hard lure with a butt-in rattle, so I'm just going to try and let you see in this water. Hopefully you can see it in the camera, but when it hits the water it slowly sinks, so I can count that how slow that sinks by how many seconds it sinks. So if I can time how slow that sinks, it means when I cast out there, I've got a rough idea. If I count the settings, I'll have a rough idea how slow it's sunk through the water column. But when this hit the water, and you get it to sink to the depth you want and you start to retrieve, it's going to then crank down. It's also going to have a nice action to it, especially the rattle. But depending on how fast you want to bring it in, depends on how fast it's going to sink down. So is this a case of, when you're lure fishing, especially this time of year, is this a case of bring a different bunch of lures and then just try them and see where it is. And this is the last one I'm going to use in this location. I'm going to then try that side next. Don't catch here with these lures. I'm going to move round to probably that corner point there. So that's synced enough. I'm going to then crank it down a wee bit further. Now when you're using these type of lures, you can feel it pulsing on your rod. You can tell when it's working and when it's not working. So that's always a good indicator as well. When you'll get used to using the lures, and you'll get to feel when it's actually working correct and when it's not. So it means if you bring it in and it's not doing it right, you'll get to a stage where you know it's not doing it right, so you know you're not wasting any casts. That last cast there, run about here, I got a nudge, but it felt like a head shake, but it could have been weeds. I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to be dishonest, but I'm like 60-40% sure that was a head shake. If I go over this exact same spot and I don't get into any weed bed like I did, nah, that was definitely no weeds. Oh, I just missed one. I think I genuinely, I'm like 60-40. I'm like 60% think that was a head shake, and 40% think it was weed. I'll be honest, I can't be 100% that it wasn't just weed, but I went back over the exact same spot there and I didn't feel anything. But it didn't feel like weed, it felt more like a head shake, but I'm not 100%. Now this is me going back over roughly the same area. Nah. I don't know. Try again. Hopefully it was a pike and it comes back in. And that's 3 times I went over it, pretty much the exact same area, and there was no resistance to any weeds whatsoever. So I think what's happened is I've had a head shake here. What I mean by that is the pike's come up, butt it, shaked it, and then got off, and it's missed the hook. Bastard. Now, I've been able to wade out because it's quite reasonably shallow, and the angle I've got here just in front of these lily pads. Now when I was over there casting that way, I wasn't getting any sign of fish following it, but I did miss one on a blue one, so I'm thinking could be a chance it's under here, it's hiding. So I'm going to try and bang on where I wanted it. So what I'm going to try and do now is bring it along this way, because if a pike's been caught a few times, they're getting used to getting caught, getting maybe brought in through this direction, coming through the bank. They might feel a bit safer going for a bait coming this direction. I don't know, it's just an idea I've got. I'm going to try it again. Because I'm definitely convinced, the more I think about it, the more I definitely think that one on a blue drift fly was a head shake, as in pike went for it but missed the hook. I'm going to do one more cast, but I'm going to let it sink a wee bit more, and then if I don't catch with this one, I'm going to move to a different spot. The good thing is I'm able to keep hitting that exact same spot 3 times, pretty much right on the button now. I could say it's skill, but to be honest with you, it was more luck than anything. You in? So up at a new spot today. Me personally, and as well as Aldo, we've never fished this body of water which you can see behind me. We fished a similar body of water, which was in last week's video, and we're going to try this today, and luckily Aldo's already caught one. Now, it's not the best footage, but I hope you enjoy it, and this is Aldo catching his first pike of this season actually, I think. I don't know if this is any way to get through now.
I'm in.
You in? Aldo with his first pike. Brilliant. Especially on a new water. No, it's a cracking pike. Just going to put it back now. Don't you?
Nice, away. Right there. See it?
Oh, aye. Well done. So, as you can see, he caught a nice jack pike, literally just over there. And that's us now off the mark. So he's actually saved this video from being a blank. So thanks Aldo, I appreciate it. But we're still going to keep trying. We're still going to try with the lures. We're going to fish until it gets dark, as we always do. Me and him's crazy that way. We always fish this pitch black and can't even see anything. But that's the nature of the game, as they say. So we just got to keep trying. As I keep saying, with fishing, you can have so much skills and all that nonsense, but at the end of the day, it boils down to luck on a day. So we're going to keep trying, and hopefully we start catching. Come on, Pike. Well, at least that answers the question. At least that answers the question. Let's fish here. Oh, so back to the spot where I caught that pike a couple of days ago. I don't know if the pike's still here, but where there's one pike, it tends to be sometimes more, and sometimes pike are a creature of habit. So I've caught pike before in the past where I've caught them, the same pike, in numerous occasions in the same spots. So it does happen. So there's a chance the pike I caught the other day could still be here. There's also a chance that there's other pike here. This bit here just looks so pikey, it's unreal. all the lolly pads and all that coverage and stuff like that. But like before, it's just trying to get a cast in is the problem. So I'm going to start off with the old faithful ones actually. This water's quite dark, so I don't know how good this lure's going to be. Jack pike by the looks of it. Oh, it's right in the corner of the lip. Oh. Right, because it's right in the corner of its lip, I need to be careful here. Don't want to... Oh, it just get off. Oh, that's why I was worried about. It was going to get off. Oh well, just need to keep trying. Still can't believe I lost that. Right at my feet. Like, I'm not getting disheartened, I'm just going to keep trying. I'll try all my lures as planned, and what I'll do is I'll put that one back on at the end and do another 6 casts at this spot, just in case it's still hanging about. So, I've switched lures and I'm going to try this one, because that one's probably... It might be still here, but I don't want to spook if it's still in the area, so I've switched the lure over, try a different spot, and then I'm going to try back in a couple of minutes. So I lost one here. Aldo caught his just over there. He's in at the main loch fishing at the moment. I'm going to do another 6 casts here, see if I can catch it again. If not, I'm going to move on to a different. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the video so far. Like I say, I'm not an expert, I just love the hobby, and I try to my best. Anyway, I try my best to try and show how my personal preference is and how I fish, and try to explain like different features where pike will hide and all that, and in return hopefully that helps at least one person. If it helps one person, then to me it's been a huge success. But most importantly, I hope you enjoy the video. Today's session is, like I said, it's a short session, but so far Aldo saved the day. He stopped it from being a blank. He's caught EV Jack pike. I lost one right in my feet, and then another body of water that we were at to start with. I'm 60% positive that was a head shake that I actually got a pike take the blue jig fly. I'm like 60-40 to be honest. Can't 100% say it was a pike, but the more I'm thinking on it, and I know what it feels like when the pike go for it, so I'm like 60-40. But either way, it's been a brilliant day so far. Like I say, the heavens are opened and it's really bad with rain, but it's not putting us off of fishing, it's just not ideal. So what we're going to do is we're going to pack up, we're going to move to another spot. If we catch, you'll see it next. If we don't, I hope you've still enjoyed this video. Next time I'm planning on going to a more popular part of a loch that's quite famously quite known for pike and stuff like that, and I'm going to try and fish there with the jig flies, and also maybe the homemade spinners, and go for the perch. I might take my other rod and do a bit of drop shotting for the perch. I know I'm aiming for the pike in these videos, but can't resist a nice perch. So that's going to be the next video coming up. If we catch any more pike tonight, it'll be coming up next after this wee clip. But we're going to stay here fishing till into the dark, as we always do, and keep trying. But what's been against us tonight is time. We've literally had between 3 and 5 hours of fishing, and it's been hard going. I'm just gutted I lost that pike right in my feet, but that's the nature of the game, as they say. It's fishing. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. Until next time, tight lines, and thanks for watching. On it, Pike. Oh, geese. Geese are a bit early coming in this time of year now. It's getting to the last light. And basically last chance to try and catch a pike tonight.